moment because NTV's Zainab Ismail is on the ground. She was in Parliament when Parliament was under siege. Zainab, where are you at this point and what are you able to tell us?
We are right inside Parliament, about 70 to 100 meters away from where we are. We can see protesters trying to push the police officers and trying to access Parliament. And I would like my colleague John Gatwiri just to give us an idea of the damage that was done earlier on when protesters actually managed to make their way inside Parliament. What you can see down there is a part of the fence that covers Parliament buildings on the Senate side down. And this is just part of the damage that we have witnessed inside Parliament. The sense of security here, very heavy. We have seen members from the General Service Unit, including members of the Reke Squad. And you can see just the amount of police officers and security officials right inside Parliament trying to guard it. I want to give you a picture of what has been happening here and show you exactly what transpired about an hour ago or so when members of Parliament, a majority of them, voted in the finance bill in the third reading. My colleague Jen Gatwiri will just come with me as we give you a sense and an idea of that. Remember, this was the final vote that the members of Parliament had to make before that finance bill is taken to the President for approval and signing. If we can check on my right side, that's actually my left side, you can see a lot of tear gas smoke coming from that end. That is because the police officers are also trying to thwart protesters from approaching this area. They in fact trying to push back, and that has been quite a big concern for the security officials here in Bunge. And we're also making just our way inside Parliament. This is from the Senate side. If Gatwiri can just give us an idea, that's the amount of damage that we've seen. A lot of broken glasses. Most of the windows and glasses that cover the building have been broken by the protesters who were throwing stones. And this is us making our way inside. And there you have it. This is the mess that has been left. That is the aftermath of what we saw earlier on when the protesters came in. This is the Senate side. A lot of broken glasses down there. We can also see that the poles that hold the national flags, they usually have the display in the Parliament building, smashed down against the floor. And what we're also seeing is most of the glasses broken. Jane, if we can just move inside Parliament. There you have it. These are usually the flags. This is a very secure area. So obviously when the protesters made their way inside Parliament, they created quite a mess inside this building. So I'm just walking with Jane as we try and get you to give you a better picture of the area now. So this building right now has been overrun by police officers as they're trying to secure it from all ends. We saw earlier on when protesters tried to access Parliament through the Uhuru Highway. However, that did not happen as there was a lot of tear gas canisters that were thrown their way. And what we saw also was some of the police officers who used live ammunition on protesters. We saw members of Parliament protesting, especially those with the Azimio coalition, saying that they did not expect the police to use live ammunition on protesters. But this is exactly how they made their way into Parliament. And so this is strictly a members-only dining area for the members of Parliament. And this is the damage that was left. You can see tables and chairs scattered all over the plates, broken. Flowers have also been scattered across the room. And we'll just walk in to the lunch service area as well. There's a lot of food on the ground as well, quite slippery, so we're going to move a bit slowly as we give you that picture. There you have it. This is where they made their way. So the protesters came inside here, and there's, as you can see, it was quite damaged. The tables, this is the dining area for members of parliament, and in fact, members of parliament, some of them were having lunch over here at that point when the protesters broke the fence and entered parliament. A lot of food scattered on the floor. Jane, if you can just go straight forward and show you what appears to be the aftermath of the Occupy Parliament protests, when a section of protesters made their way into Parliament. I'll take us through the other part of Parliament as we exit the members' dining area. So in almost every single part of this area of Parliament, the damage has already been done. Those are the pieces of broken windows scattered across the floor. You can see most of the area that is covering this members-only lounge by the members of Parliament really, really damaged. And it's quite empty at this point. There really are no members of Parliament within Parliament right now. They made their way to County Hall when the protesters came in. So let me also give you a glimpse of how near the chambers look like. All right, so we allowed to give you an idea of how inside the chambers look like. However, we have pictures of what happened earlier on. Just a sense of what has happened. There's usually a TV mounted on the wall of the Parliament buildings right outside the chambers. It has been broken, and down is a lot of damage. You see flowers and papers, and security officials are asking us to just give them the privacy, so we'll not be giving you that picture right now exclusively. However, we do have those pictures, and Jane and I will be sharing those pictures later on our 9 p.m. bulletin. However, as we move towards, we're going to go round Parliament buildings through Senate and also show you the other part of the Parliament that has also been damaged. We saw a number of vehicles belonging to members of Parliament also stoned. So that is what happened. So let's just head this way. Allow me to just take us through that, and Jane will be giving us pictures, and I'll be trying to get a glimpse of what else I might have missed in trying to really assess how the situation looks like right now. Well, as the protesters were engaging police officers in running battles, we did see some of the protesters who were nursing gunshot wounds. In fact, we saw one of the protesters picked by an ambulance with a gunshot wound that was outside Parliament. And what we also saw was members of Parliament from the Azimio coalition seeking to see if they can speak to the protesters. However, that did not happen. They were calling out the police officers, saying that they should not use live ammunition in pushing back the protesters who are trying to get into Parliament. This is a fire also that was put on. I will try and verify exactly how the fire came up about, but this is what we came and found right after the protesters made their way outside Parliament. And we saw a couple of them, and they were saying, we have entered Parliament, we have occupied Parliament, and we want to speak to those leaders who voted in the Finance Bill 2024, and we just want them to understand where we came from. And of course, some of them were quite angry, and at some point they brought a body of a young man who had been shot dead by a police officer that had used live ammunition, and of course they brought the body right outside the gates of Parliament, and they were seeking an audience with the members of Parliament. We saw Babu Owino, the member of Parliament, go outside Parliament. At some point, we were not allowed to enter or get out of Parliament, but he sort of tried and got outside Parliament by going up above the fence, and he went outside. He spoke to the protesters, and they were sort of giving him an idea of the situation from their end. And so this is what is happening right now. There's still a lot of damage, but we'll be giving you the pictures of those. But let me take you to where the rest of the action is happening right now. Protesters are still pushing to come back in Parliament. So that is at the City Hall roundabout. Yes, that's the City Hall roundabout. So that is where the protesters are, and some of them are really pushing to come back inside Parliament. But police officers have been really trying to push them back, and I want us to get there as quickly as we can, so we can also just show you exactly what is happening.
NTV's Zainab Ismail there taking us through the damage and destruction at Parliament, reiterating what Melita Oletenges had shown us, an absolute mess in there as a result of Occupy Parliament. Now outside Parliament, a clear, bright day, no signs of tear gas in the skies at this point, James. It's 4:30 in the afternoon. It has indeed been a long day, and as you can imagine, people are possibly tired. Just a moment ago, we saw some policemen taking a break, having a seat on the benches there. As well, I suppose as the afternoon goes on, amongst all this damage, death and destruction. Earlier, we also saw some shots from the Kenyatta National Hospital.
Yes.
Helen Aura is on the ground there. She has been reporting that more casualties are being brought in, and a lot of them have suffered gunshot wounds. We are, of course, yet to get the final numbers of those who have been fatally shot and those who have been injured. But look at that. On the floor, you can see shoes, personal belongings, blood marking the ground.
This is the fence of Parliament. As Zainab was just walking us through, inside Parliament, all the, the broken property, inside where the members of Parliament have their lunches and do the famous horse trading, it's all been destroyed. The members of the public made way and breached Parliament. We could see the destruction that has been meted on Parliament. Pictures there just showing the calm now, the calm after the storm, because these pictures from elsewhere showing us also that protesters are sort of trying to leave and exit the CBD, if you like, and town. The situation is still an unease calm They're, taking stock of what has happened, police regrouping, but obviously tired faces as well. This has been a whole day of engagement from 8 in the morning. These policemen and women, haven't seen any, but I assume they were there as well. They were mobilized and they were on location by 5 in the morning. So the members of security forces are also visibly tired from the whole day of engagement with protesters, which has to be said was largely peaceful, from the first two that we saw and today, until reports of goons who had infiltrated and stone throwing and muggings and that sort of criminal activity started and has culminated with getting us here, where we have all these pictures of violence, which has ended up with occupying Parliament, if you like.
Right, and I suppose the concerning thing is what to expect this evening in terms of what the streets of Nairobi and perhaps other cities are going to look like once darkness falls. Of course, the Interior Cabinet Secretary gave the directive that these protests must end by or at 6:30 p.m. this evening. The likelihood of that happening, I don't know, considering there have been fatalities. People have lost their lives. And on Thursday, of course, the demonstrations continued deep into the night. It's now 4:40, so there's about just under 2 hours to go for people to really stop and get home. And at least from the pictures that we're seeing, it appears that the demonstrations, at least in this part of town, have settled down.
Right.
Across other parts of the town, it may still be quite lively with chanting and demonstrations.
As you can see in Eldoret.
Yeah, exactly.
To your point,